Hello and welcome. This video is designed to give a quick overview of how to construct a table in preparation for putting it into a journal article. So let's have a look at some data. And here I've extracted just a little bit of data from something we had hanging around. And all it is just some columns and some numbers at the moment. Clearly, as it stands, this would not be appropriate for publishing in a journal. So we need to work out how to format this into a decent style. The first thing I would do is I would obviously open up the first column here because that's going to be our headers, and I would insert a row in here. And just so you know, you can highlight a row, then right click on it and insert, and it will insert a blank row. The next thing I look at is to make sure the headers are meaningful. So this is obviously practices, total, I'm assuming that's total population, and this is adult population. So let's just put this in here. Total population, so we know that. Adult, and then this one we can't see, and this one we will overlay. So if you click on to click two columns, you hold the Shift key down and then click the second column header. Then you can stretch them out on this edge like this, and you can see the ratios of the two then nice and neat. So we're getting closer. The next thing I notice is these two columns have a random set of decimal points. And let's imagine that we just want them to be a single decimal point. Now, just so people know what I just did then, if you click on one and hold your finger down and then you move your cursor across, you can highlight a number of columns like that. And then I go Format, Cells, Numbers, and then the number of decimal places. Let's say I just want one decimal place for this. Then press OK, and you can see they're all neatened up now as a single decimal place. I'm also noticing that they are all different left and right justified. Notice these columns here, the number is right justified, and these sort of are, well, these are all right justified actually. So let's get them all centered, because that's usually the practice for how we look at a table. So we click the center button here. If we wanted them all left, we could go left, or if we wanted them all right, we could go right, but usually center is the right way. The next thing I always do is make sure that the header row is in bold, so we can click on the bold so we know what we're looking at. There we go. And now we're sort of ready, although I notice that there is no total row. Commonly tables have a total, so I'll just put total here, and we'll go put a little formula in here to make a total equals the sum of all of those, like that. And then I'll just copy that formula, edit, copy, and I'll put it into these two, edit, paste, like that. And then this is obviously a ratio, so maybe we'll want the average ratio. So let's do equals average of all of that, like that. There's the average of that. Let's take that and copy it and paste it into the next column as well, over here. Cool. And I always make this bold as well, so we just have that bold like that. Very good. So now the table is starting to take shape. Always while I'm doing this, I'm thinking of a journal page shape, and remembering that this page shape is usually sort of one column or two column, or three column in some cases, and I suspect with the number of columns we have in this, it will run the full width. So what I'm going to do is make all the columns the same width, the width of this here. So remember, click on one column, keep dragging with your finger down on the mouse till you get the full width, and then ease this out in width like that, just a little bit. And there we go, they're all about the same width now, which sort of looks nice and neat and tidy. Now we want to put some borders around this. I always just open up the border thing like this, bring it down here, just so you see how I did that again. Click on the little arrow next to the border, and then slide your mouse down onto the header thing, hold your finger down and pull it off, and it will sit here all fully done. And borders are really easy and useful. So the first thing I'll do is highlight the whole thing. Do you notice I put one line underneath the totals, put a border around the whole thing, then I'll put a border around the header, like that. Then I'll put a border around this one, like that. And then I will put, usually what I do is I put borders left and right, left, right, left, right. And because this ratio stuff is different to the total, I think I might put them in a little separate border as well, like that. So there we go. We can now see a table almost prepared for insertion into a journal article. A couple of things I noticed. Notice these edges, they're very close to the boundaries of the file, so boundaries of the columns. So we're just going to stretch it out a little bit more. Highlight the columns across like that. Get a little edge on the boundary of one, and they'll all go out together. Click away so you can have a look at it. That looks pretty good now, doesn't it? The numbers are all even. Then we've got totals at the bottom. Some people like to shade in areas. Now some journals don't accept shading and some do, but just to show you how it's done, we'll just do that now. You click on the little arrow here, roll down to the top bar and pull this one down, so you've got this here. Highlight the row you want to shade, put a little bit of shading on it, click away and you can have a look at that. Now, do remember journals often charge a large amount for colour pages, so I always make sure my tables are in black and white. Notice also, no headers, no legends, just the pure table. So the trick now is how do you put that into your journal article document? Well, here we have Word up now. We'll just pop that there. Go back to our Excel document. Highlight the whole table. Right through to the edges. Go Edit, Copy. Move back to your Word document. Now, just like with figures, if you do a straight Edit Paste, the table remains linked to the Excel spreadsheet. It takes a lot more room in your Word document, and also it means it's still editable, and people don't like that with their journal articles. They want to keep it stable. So I wouldn't recommend that approach. I'll show you what I would do. Let's just get rid of this one, get a fresh document. So go back to your Excel document, highlight the whole area you want. Same process as before, copy, move back to your Word document, and then use Edit, Paste Special. And then you want to pick a picture file. Now there are many picture files, picture formats. See, there is Picture Windows, Picture Enhanced. It actually doesn't matter which one you choose, except don't choose Picture JPEG because the resolution isn't adequate. So Picture Enhanced Meta for this case, and you paste it in there like that. Now you'll see that your table is actually being inserted as a picture within the document, and you can treat it just as a picture, shrink it down, send it to the middle of the page, just treat it as a normal picture within your document. That's a little bit small, you can't read the text, so make it larger. And that way you now have a well formatted table in your Word document ready to go. Now before I forget, do make sure once you've done the table to actually save it, so for later you've got it all prepared. Thank you.